Team Japan's dominant run in the 2023 World Baseball Classic gave us MLB fans a glimpse at the bounty of talent that the country had to offer. It was during this tournament that many Americans were introduced to the likes of Yoshinobu Yamamoto, Roki Sasaki, and several others, sparking excitement for the future of MLB. Since then, we've seen these players gradually make their way across the Pacific, with varying levels of success. But one star from that tournament had yet to take the leap to MLB, that being Munetaka Murakami. Murakami was definitely a standout in the 2023 WBC, delivering two of Japan's biggest moments: a walk-off double that sealed a come-from-behind win against Mexico in the semifinals, and a crucial game-tying home run against USA in the championship. Beyond the tournament, Murakami has been a force in the Japanese League, a two-time home run leader, four-time All-Star, and two-time MVP, with one of those MVPs coming in a season where he captured the Triple Crown. In Japan, he is called Murakami-sama, a nickname given by fans because his feats at the plate are the kind of performances only a kami-sama, or god, could pull off. Safe to say, when he was finally posted to come to MLB on November 7th, the baseball world was eager to see where he would land. With 45 days to make a decision, the rumor mill started spinning. Early on, some expected he might follow his Team Japan teammates to the Dodgers, but with Los Angeles not needing a corner infielder or DH, it looked like the field would finally get a shot at landing a true Japanese superstar. There was speculation around the Cubs and Yankees, yet as the posting window trickled down, no rumors surfaced about where he might land. Alongside all the hype, Murakami faced significant criticism, mostly centered on risk and inconsistency. You see, while his power is undeniable, it comes with a high swing and miss tendency, as he's consistently posted elevated strikeout rates in the Japanese League, and his in-zone contact and whiff rates have been trending in the wrong direction over the past few seasons. That raised real questions about whether his approach could handle MLB velocity and sharper, more precise pitching. Essentially, he hits the ball really hard, but he also swings and misses a lot. A feast or famine hitter of sorts. On top of that, defense isn't his strong suit. Limited range and weak defensive metrics suggest he doesn't have a natural position, having moved from catcher to third base and now projecting closer to first base or DH. His lack of positional flexibility puts even more pressure on his bat to carry his value. And when a player contributes little with the glove, any dip in hitting performance can quickly erode overall value. Over his last 3 seasons in Japan, Murakami has been inconsistent. He's still one of the biggest home run threats in the league, leading the way in long balls and driving in runs at an elite clip when healthy. But injuries cut into his 2025 campaign, limiting him to just 56 games. Even in that shortened season, he still ranked near the top in homers, showing that the power hasn't gone away. All told, the last 3 years paint a picture of a guy who can change a game with one swing, but whose approach and recent injury do leave some questions about how stable his production will be moving forward. Flash forward to December 19th. With roughly 48 hours left in Murakami's posting window and still no hints about where he might land, some began to wonder if he might not be coming to America at all. That changed on November 21st. The verdict was finally in. 2 years, $34 million. The team? The Chicago White Sox. On the surface, this move made almost no sense. The White Sox, safe to say, have been a complete dumpster fire for years. They're coming off another 100-loss season, their third in a row. The roster is thin and the rebuild has dragged on far longer than anyone planned. On top of that, the organization hasn't exactly been known for bold or creative spending. So when news broke that the Sox had signed Munetaka Murakami, a player once projected for a massive deal and supposedly chased by contenders, the reaction from the broader baseball community wasn't excitement so much as it was confusion. Why would a struggling franchise with no clear contention timeline be the landing spot for one of the most hyped international hitters in recent memory? When the Tokyo Yakult Swallows officially posted him, the assumption across the industry was that his age, pedigree, and power would naturally lead to a massive contract. A 25-year-old former Triple Crown winner with a 50-homer upside simply doesn't hit the market very often, and early contract estimates made that clear, with some projections climbing well into the $100 or $200 million range. So what happened? How did a guy who was literally nicknamed Baseball God end up on arguably the worst team in MLB on a short-term deal? In my opinion, between the flood of criticism and the recent injury, Murakami quietly went from being overrated to underrated. Front offices zeroed in on the red flags in his stat line, and once that happened, the appetite for a massive long-form commitment disappeared. Instead of betting on the upside, teams got cautious, and the market slowly shifted from dreaming big to minimalizing risk. That's where the White Sox came in. Chicago was uniquely positioned to take this kind of swing. Their payroll is low, their competitive window is still forming, and they could offer Murakami something many contenders couldn't: patience and everyday opportunity. A short-term deal minimalizes risk for the Sox, while still giving them a legitimate upside. If Murakami becomes a 35 to 40 home run hitter, they've landed a star at a bargain price. A star who could potentially help them win games, and if not, becomes a very valuable trade chip. If he struggles, the contract doesn't block their future or cripple their flexibility. From Murakami's perspective, the deal makes sense too, even if it is disappointing on paper compared to what was projected. Rather than being tied to a long contract while trying to adjust under pressure, he gets 2 years to prove himself, make changes, and re-enter free agency at age 28 with real MLB data on his resume. It's a bet on himself, backed by a team that can afford to let him work through growing pains. All in all, it seems the White Sox weren't trying to win a bidding war because there wasn't one. Instead, they took advantage of a stalled market and offered Murakami something other teams couldn't or wouldn't: a clear role and a short-term deal that protects both sides. For Murakami, it's a reset rather than a failure. The hype said this pairing should never happen. The reality is that the White Sox wanted a high upside gamble, and Murakami needed a team willing to take him as he is, flaws and all. When you zoom out, it's less bizarre than it first appeared, and maybe the rare move that actually works for both sides. And I have to say, I can't help but root for him.
Power. I have a power.
You have power.
Yes.
You're learning that in English already.
No. Yes. I have power.